Hey guys, welcome back to Tip Tuesday. My name is Matthew Sturkey with Stone Mill Log and Timber Homes. I was talking to someone this week about tip ideas for Tip Tuesday, and a good idea was presented to me that I thought I'd share with you. One of the things that we were talking about is it more cost effective to add length or depth? So adding length or width, or what I call depth, to the plan. And this particular conversation was just about design and adding square footage and where to add the square footage. So the tip for the day is basically add length as opposed to depth whenever possible. And the reason for that is when you get into, especially this T-shaped design, or this design that we have here, which is the Teleco, where there's a center section with a single roof line running front to back and then intersecting roof lines on the wings. There are two reasons that it's more economical to add length in this plan as opposed to adding depth. The first reason is when you start adding depth, you start taking this dimension here from 24 to 26 or 28. There's a couple of things that happen. One is you will start having a larger timber sizes or larger member sizes to span the larger depth. So you can't use the same timber typically for a 24-foot span as you would with a 28-foot span. So you're still adding the square footage, but you're adding larger timbers. So relative to the amount of square footage that you're adding, it becomes more cost prohibitive to start getting larger timbers or larger members with trusses or framing or timber roof construction. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, as it relates to this roof line, in this particular plan, or a plan like this where you have intersecting roof lines, you typically have a dominant roof line and a non-dominant roof line. And in this plan, the center section is the dominant roof line. So when you start going from 24 to 26 or to 28, then you start to risk this side wing running over the top of the center section and this not being the dominant roof line anymore. So in order to keep that as the dominant roof line in the center, this pitch has to be increased, which creates additional cost in roofing material, framing material, sheathing, insulation. So as you increase this depth, you're also in some cases having to increase the pitch of another roof line just to maintain that as the dominant roof line. So those are the two big reasons in this particular plan that adding length, so taking this left to right dimension from 17.4 to maybe 19.4 or 21.4, adding 2 or 4 feet, would be more economical than adding 2 or 4 feet to the depth because of the increase in the timber size and potentially the increase in the roof line pitch in order to keep this as the dominant roof line. Now, in a box design where it's just 4 corners and you got a single roof line, really the first item would apply, where if you go from 24 to 26 or 28, the same thing applies. You're going to have larger timber sizes to span the larger depth. Whereas if you go from, let's say, a 36 or 38-foot length to a 40, then you're starting to maintain those same timber sizes. You're still adding more material, of course, but at the same token, you're not having to increase timber sizes in order to clear span that distance. So those are the two big reasons, at least for this particular plan and in general, that adding length is more economical than adding depth. It certainly is not a one-size-fits-all or universal where that's always the case. Either way, you're adding square footage. And you just, in design, you have to figure out where the square footage is needed. In some cases, it may be more beneficial to add depth to the floor plan that you're looking at in order to get the square footage in the rooms that you want. But again, in any case or in any chance where you can add length over depth, then that is going to be the more economical route. So hopefully this has been helpful. I thought this was a really good topic that comes up from time to time as we're talking about design and where to add more square footage and what the most cost-effective square footage to add is. So hopefully this has been helpful. Thanks for joining us for Tip Tuesday. We look forward to you joining us next week for more Tip Tuesday. Until then, stay safe. Happy Easter. Have a great weekend. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.